Welcome. It's the Matic. It's the illest blood in the land.
Welcome back to Ill Blur Matic. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Legends. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, and subscribing. Let's get right into today's new video. Is going to be on what Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Let's get right into this review and what I really like about this film and some other things that may not like about this film. Let's get right into it. So what I loved about this film was it took a risk. You know what I'm saying? I know with the whole scene with Chadwick's character, T'Challa. So it starts off kind of with T'Challa and Shuri trying to save him. She's not able to save T'Challa. I don't want to give too much away about it, but all I want to say is something happens to him as Black Panther. Shuri is too late to save T'Challa, and she regrets it. We see a scene where it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, her trying to deal with the grief of it, and her pretty much in this film trying to figure out how to let go of this grief, this anger, this resentment. Also, what I loved about this film was how they didn't give Shuri the role right away as the Black Panther. That really worked because I said, honestly, I would like to see some build up. And what I thought was cool was we saw how they handled Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? With the previous, person being the Black Panther, Queen Ramonda, she pretty much was like the political aspect, and Shuri was still in the technological aspect of the kingdom. So we saw her mother being more of the political figure when things representing the whole nation. Also, what I loved about this film was Black Panther 1. They took the things that really worked well with Black Panther 1. The car scenes, phenomenal in this movie. I love the car sequences within this film. They also took the action. There still was a lot of action in this film. We see pretty much Mbach get some action. We see Shuri get some action. Riri Williams gets some action. So there's still a nice amount of action. Still some story there. Love that aspect of it. I was kind of worried because I was like, how could we top the first movie? And they took some of the stuff from the first film that became what it was to become a successful blockbuster and included it in this film. I really liked that they went with it because I said, you know, they always say when the sequel comes out, is it going to outdo the first movie? And that's what I loved about this film. It really did work what they did with it. Let's talk about the next thing that I loved about this film. The introduction to Namor. Love that scene when they introduced Namor. We learn about Namar's pain. You know what I'm saying? You know, of course, Shuri's going through pain, but also the villain's pain in his backstory. Now, here's one thing that they did change, and I'm kind of glad they did change it. It wasn't like how Aquaman, okay? Like, you know how DC has Aquaman, Marvel has Submariner, also known as Namor. I love that they gave him a different story, him being kind of an outsider and not being quite able to fit in. He's like half human, half mutant. We understand his pain, his upbringing, and kind of why he became the way he was. He was very similar to T'Challa in ways over his people. He loved his people as much as T'Challa loved his people, and we see why he did the things that he kind of did. So I love that we got more of the villain and also the screen time. Oh man, I love when Namor came into the screen. I said, boy, Namor and his people weren't no joke. They were relentless. They reminded me of Wakanda in a lot of ways. The other thing that I really loved about this film was pretty much how they introduced Shuri to become Black Panther. And what can I say about that is Shuri finally accepts the mantle But before then, she kind of goes to the ancestral plane and she comes across no other than Killmonger. And this is the part of the film that was the most interesting because I said, ooh, like, is Shuri gonna be more like her brother T'Challa, or is she gonna be more like Ashley, her cousin Killmonger, and do the things that she needed to do to get revenge? Because this is kind of a revenge story, pain and grief, and just it's an emotional roller coaster ride. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely a lot in this film, and that really worked. And we see her forge her own path. The other thing that I really loved about this film as a whole was we saw Riri Williams get her screen time as Ironheart. In Bach, we see him get a little bit more action in this film. Even the Dora Milaje, we see them get their action in the film too as well. So there was a nice pace of action, a nice amount of story to it. They used some of the score from the previous Black Panther film, even though there's some new scores in this film as well. And I gotta say, literally, one other thing that worked for this film, pretty much was how Shuri, her family, her newfound family was in Bach. You know what I'm saying? The person of the Dora Milaje, Nakia. So it seems like when the other character, her brother, got killed off, and also another character, which I'm not going to say too much about, her new family became the other tribes of Wakanda, and also that the ones her brother were fond of. So we see the brotherly relationship with her and Mbach. We see like this older sister with Okoye, you know what I'm saying? We see this newfound friendship with Riri Williams. So I honestly can say I love that they built up the other characters around Shuri. It wasn't just like, okay, this is Shuri's Black Panther movie, we're gonna literally just focus on her character. No, we saw all the other characters develop within the film, even the villain Namor himself in the film. And also the other interesting contrast with this film, and I want to say this too, is the commonality that Shuri had with Namor. You know what I'm saying? They both had pain in their lives, you know what I'm saying? And that's the commonality that they had. I thought the fight sequence between Shuri and Namor was well executed, calculated and everything. I gotta say, I was totally impressed with this film. I wasn't for sure, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, how this film was gonna turn out. There's a lot of, tributes within the film of the late great Chadwick, you know what I'm saying, which I thought was a really beautiful way to express how this film was. It seems like the people that came together, the cast, had excellent chemistry. It's great to see that Ryan Coogler honestly wanted to do another film, because at some point he didn't. But let's get to this rating, baby. And I gotta say, for this second movie, I was highly impressed with this film, and it lives up to the hype. You know what I'm saying? Decent story. We learn about the other characters within Wakanda. We see the changes within Wakanda. And I am going to give this film an A-. It definitely worked for me. I honestly can say, Ryan Coogler, if you give us a third film, I'll be looking forward to that as well. Have you guys seen Wakanda Forever? You tell me in the comments, guys. Your boy Ill Blurmatic. It's a blur living in the world, guys. Have a wonderful Monday. Not Monday, Tuesday. And I am out.
I want to thank the legends of the channel, the Ill Blurmatic, Maddie.